welcome back to the bakery. On this episode, we're going to go over how I make my signature Calla Lily flour out of scrap metal. This is mostly made out of 26 gauge sheet. You can do it with 22, it's a little bit more difficult, but 26 gauge sheet from just an old steel sign that's all cleaned up. And the stem itself is actually just a real long 5/16 bolt out of an old commercial wire reel. There's a lot of hammer work and finesse to this, so I'll give you step-by-step instructions on how I make this, and let's get started. Okay, so I've gone ahead and gathered up the materials for this. First, we have a real long 5/16 bolt out of an old commercial wire reel. We're going to cut this down to our stem length of about 18 or so inches. Then I have a piece of sheet metal, 26 gauge, that I've just cut into smaller pieces from an old steel sign. And most importantly here, I have our stencils made. These are going to be our stem leaves that I've just sort of roughly drawn my own shape to out of cardboard here and cut to shape. And then we have our main bloom here. This is roughly about the size of your hand, in the shape of a real ugly, fat, wide football. But this is really going to be beneficial to us as far as our tapered shape that we want for that Calla Lily blossom. We're going to be able to roll this in a tapered cone shape to get us our 5/16 taper to weld to our stem here. And that taper is going to draw up to about 2 inches in diameter, so we can really roll and hammer to shape our blossom texture in the Calla Lily. So we're going to trace this sheet out, and we're going to get these pieces cut out and get started on this. Alright, so we've got our stem leaves ground down and shaped, as well as our blossom here. And I went ahead and cut our main stem piece, this 5/16, down to our 18 inches. I just wanted to stop here and point out another step. About 3 or 4 inches down from the top, we're going to rough up the sides of this thing with a nice rough, like 60 grit belt I have here. And we're going to round off the top. That's really going to give us our nice detailed texture to the steel, which is really going to highlight that authentic Calla Lily look that we're going for. So we're going to get some finesse work going on the grinder here. Okay, so now we're at the point where we're going to start hand shaping our main blossom here for our Calla Lily. Most of this is going to be hand hammered right on the horn of the anvil here. We're gonna roughly shape this into our tapered bloom that we want to weld to the base of the stem, and then we want a nice 2-inch outer taper here towards the top that's going to round off the head into our main Calla Lily bloom. Really, this is all sort of finesse work. I did, over the course of time, get much better at this, and I ended up picking up some old tapered attachments for like a meat grinder. These are super awesome to get that nice hard taper that we want. Since we're going basically from 2-inch down to 5/16 here, It's really kind of hard to hand roll and hand hammer that to shape. This is just a tip for anybody looking to do it quicker. So we're gonna use this as sort of a base or a guide for us to get our shape dialed in. So let's get hammering. So, after about 30 to 35 minutes or so of hand hammering and shaping, we're really starting to look like something here. Got our nice 2-inch flare here up at the top, and we're a little over 5/16, but I'm pretty happy with that. And this is normally what, in my design at least, this is normally what I want to look for. Another tip, sometimes just to hold this in place while you're shaping it, I've used a couple hose clamps too around different sections of this taper. Really helps keep everything together, and we can flare out the tip like I did as wide as you want. And I actually really like getting in there for some fine texture. Once we flip the very, very top, like 1/8 inch or so, of this bloom, it'll really bring a nice detail to our calla lily. So we're gonna take a pair of needle nose pliers and we're gonna fold this over right now. Okay, so next up we have our 2 stem leaves here. We're going to put that natural curve into them. I have just a 5/16 round stock here that I've just sort of hand hammered with a nice gentle curve to it. This is going to be our jig. And I'm basically just going to clamp this in at the base and just put some pressure on it right in the middle to get that curve that I want. We're going to start the bend there, and then I got some medium-size channel locks, and I'm just going to crimp it to that diameter all the way up. Get a nice even curve throughout the whole leaf. And it's also, again, going to put some texture on the outside. The channel lock teeth actually put some detail into the leaves and make it more leaf-like. So we're just going to shape these, get them the way that I want to fit our main stem, and then we'll get it all welded together. Okay, we're on the home stretch now. Time for final assembly. We've got everything shaped the way we want it. And let's just sort of give you a rough idea of what we're looking at here. Just this is kind of how we're coming together, roughly. As you can see, much more lily looking. Just all put it in place and weld it up. And I got my little mark here, my little muffin. I'm gonna mark at the bottom of the stem. And then we're going to get it cleaned up and painted. So let's get it welded up. Alright everybody, one freshly baked scrap metal steel calla lily shipping out the bakery. This is just some clear coat on this, and it'll be off to its new home. If you think you can tackle this yourself, I hope I showed you how. If not, you can always order one from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to like and comment and subscribe if you like the stuff I'm making. And check out any of my other platforms. Stick around and we'll bake up some more stuff.